You felt it, haven't you? You wake up. There's this thing in your chest. A discomfort. Like something's not quite right. But you can't name it. Can't put your finger on it. It's not really sadness. No. And it's not fear either. Not like being scared of something specific. It's more subtle than that. Deeper. More, well, existential. You know those moments when you can't pinpoint what hurts. But the pain, it's there. Lurking. Always present. Like your own shadow. Following you around. Even when the sun is shining. That thing. That feeling so many of us don't know how to explain. The one others try to just push down. Silence with distractions. Anything to not feel it. Well, someone actually gave it a name. A long time ago. Kierkegaard. He called it anxiety. And listen, this anxiety, it's not just any old emotion. It's not about being overwhelmed with work, or stressed about bills, or confused about what to do next. It's a state of your soul. That's what he said. An awakening. A sudden flash. You suddenly realize you're alone. Completely alone. When it comes to your freedom. It's you. Only you. Who has to decide what to do with your life. Your existence. And for Kierkegaard, this wasn't a mistake. Not a flaw in you. It was just part of being human. Inevitable. Something we all share. Think about Kierkegaard. He lived in the 1800s. Denmark. It was a time when reason was king. Objectivity. Big, grand philosophical systems. Trying to explain absolutely everything. Like life was a puzzle with a simple solution. But he didn't buy it. He refused to go along with that. Because he understood something vital. A human being. You. Me. We can't be boiled down to a formula. Or some abstract theory. For him, life was messier than that. More chaotic. More uncertain. And way more personal. It wasn't about figuring out the world out there. It was about understanding what to do with yourself. Right here. In this world. And that's where he found it. Anxiety. He saw it as one of the keys. To understanding ourselves. Truly understanding. Because, he said, anxiety shows up. Right at that point. The exact moment we recognize our freedom. Not when we're scared of something outside of us. Like getting sick. Or even death. No. It's when we feel that spinning inside. That inner vertigo. Knowing that we can choose. That there's no script. Nothing and no one to tell us exactly what to do. That emptiness. That feeling of no clear direction. That's anxiety. Imagine this for a second. You're standing at the edge of an abyss. A huge drop. No barriers. No warning signs. Nobody watching you. It's just you. And you know you could jump. Not because you want to die. Let's be clear on that. But because you realize you can. The sheer possibility of it. That uncontrolled freedom. That's what brings on the anxiety. It's not the danger itself that scares us most. It's the possibility. The possibility of using our freedom. In a way we don't even fully understand. This immense power in your hands. And the dizzying question of what to do with it. And here's the fascinating part. The really interesting bit. Kierkegaard didn't see this as a problem. Not something you needed to fix or get rid of. He saw it as a necessary stage. Part of your human development. Anxiety, he said, is a sign of growth. It's a little flag. Telling you that you're facing a new possibility. That something inside you. Something important. Is about to shift. To change. It's like those growing pains kids get. Uncomfortable, yes. But necessary. You have to go through them to grow. To help us see it. Kierkegaard talked about Adam, the story from the Bible. Before he ate the apple, Adam didn't know good from evil. He was innocent in a way, but he already had it in him, the capacity to choose. And that very capacity, it filled him with anxiety. The serpent, now listen to this. The serpent didn't force in on him. It didn't make him do it. It just reminded him that he could choose, that he had the freedom to disobey. And by choosing, Adam didn't just fall in the old sense. He became fully human, with all that entails. So anxiety, It's that moment of anticipation, of waiting, when you haven't chosen yet, but you know you can. You feel it in your bones. It's the moment when everything, absolutely everything, is at stake. And because of that, everything is possible. It's the price we pay. You, me, all of us, for not being robots, for not having a destiny carved in stone, for being able, quite literally, to become almost anything we set our minds to. But then, what do we actually do with this anxiety? Let's be honest here. Most of us, we run, we fill up our lives, with busyness, with work, we stare at screens, seek out entertainment, noise, so much noise. We'll do almost anything to avoid that spinning feeling, that vertigo, to avoid looking our responsibility in the eye, the responsibility of deciding, because deep down, way down, we know to choose something is also to lose other things. Every time you say yes to one path, you're saying no to all the others. And that can hurt. That letting go can be painful. Kierkegaard knew this. He understood it deeply. And that's why he kept saying, anxiety is a tough teacher. A harsh one even, but essential. Absolutely essential. Because it's in that fire, in that discomfort, that your authentic self is forged. Not the self that others expect you to be. Not the self you just inherited without thinking, but the one that is born when you accept, with fear and trembling, yes. He even said that. But you accept that you are free, radically free, and because of that, you are responsible for what you do with that freedom. You, and no one else. There's something incredibly liberating about this idea. Think about it. It means you're not broken. You're not faulty for feeling anxious. You're not doing something wrong. You're on the threshold. You're in the process. The messy, beautiful process of becoming who you really are. And that, my friend, that's not easy. It never is. Because it means you have to look at your masks, the ones you wear for others, or even for yourself. It means facing your self-deceptions, your comfort zones, those cozy little places you hide. It means you have to stop blaming. Stop blaming the past, your parents, society, whatever, and accept that now, right here, in this moment, you can choose. But this isn't about choosing just anything, randomly. Kierkegaard wasn't some cheerleader for freedom's sake, like it's all just a big party. He talked about freedom with direction, with meaning, with purpose, a freedom that leads you, or should lead you, towards an authentic life, a genuine life, a life that doesn't just settle for what's superficial, or what's easy and immediate, or what everyone else says is okay. No, it's a life that responds to a deeper call, something from within, something that he, with his faith, called God. But even if you're not religious, you can understand it as the call to be yourself, truly yourself. And here's one of his most powerful lines. Listen closely. The self is a relation that relates itself to itself. Sound a bit like a tongue twister, right? But think about what it means. We are not fixed things. You are not a statue. You are a process, a constant becoming, a construction site, always in progress. And anxiety pops up when that construction project trembles a bit, when you feel that something still doesn't quite fit, that you haven't yet lived in full alignment with who you truly are inside. So then, how do you face this anxiety? What's the magic formula? Kierkegaard doesn't give you a recipe, because there isn't one. No single answer for everyone. Each of us, you, me, we have to walk that path ourselves. But he does give us clues, hints. He says it's not about getting rid of anxiety, not about eliminating it, but about going through it, passing through it, letting it speak to you, listening, really listening to what it wants to tell you. Because often, so often, anxiety is a signal, a sign that you're ready to take the next step, to leave something behind, something that no longer serves you, to choose with more courage, with more heart. That's why anxiety, It's not the end. It's never the end. It's the beginning, the true starting point of a more conscious life, a deeper life, a life that is truly yours. Not a perfect life. Let's be real, that doesn't exist. But a true one, an authentic one. We live in a time, you know this, a time that's always pushing us to avoid any discomfort, any unease, to numb ourselves, anesthetize ourselves, to distract ourselves with anything and everything. But all that does is delay the meeting with ourselves, with who we really are. Kierkegaard invites us to do the exact opposite, to pause, to stop, to look inside, to hold that gaze, even if it stings a little, even if it hurts, because only then, only in that quiet space, can something new emerge, something real. When we dare, when you dare to stay with that anxiety, just for a bit, not to run from it, not to try and immediately switch it off, then, that's when we begin to transform. We begin to take real responsibility. We begin to live from choice, not from habit or inertia. We begin to live from our truth, not from appearances or what others think. And that path, though it can feel lonely sometimes, it's profoundly human, because all of us, every single one of us, at some point, we feel that same restlessness, that same inner trembling, that same abyss opening up before us. You are not alone in your anxiety. You're really not. We've all felt it. And we can all, if we're brave enough, learn to cross it, to navigate it. So the next time, the very next time you feel uneasy, uncomfortable, empty, don't run. Just sit with yourself. Be quiet. And ask, honestly ask, what part of me is trying to be born right now? What am I avoiding looking at? What decision am I putting off? Out of fear. Because anxiety, as dark as it might seem in the moment, it might just be the doorway, your personal doorway, to a life that is more yours, more free, more alive. Not a life without pain. That's not the promise. But a life with meaning. Your meaning. Kierkegaard knew this. He lived it. And that's why he wrote. Not to convince huge crowds, not to become famous, but to touch the heart of those who, like you, dare to seek, dare to question, dare to go deeper. Because deep down, at the very core of it, anxiety is the sign that there's still time. You still have time. Time to choose. Time to change. Time to truly live. To live the life you were meant for. And maybe, just maybe, that anxiety you feel today, right now, is the spark, the tiny spark that will ignite a fire, a renewal, a rebirth within you. Because everything worthwhile, everything that truly matters, begins with a shiver, a feeling of discomfort, an inner call that just won't go away. And if you have the courage to follow it, even if you don't know where it's leading, you might discover something incredible. That anxiety is not your enemy. It's the beginning of the path back to yourself. Anxiety doesn't just vanish. It transforms. It changes. It becomes a companion, a reminder. It reminds you that you're alive, vibrantly alive, that you still have choices, so many choices, that you can still become more than you've ever been, that you can still love more deeply, think more clearly, live with more purpose, more passion. Don't resign yourself to less. Please don't. Don't numb yourself out. Because if you dare to listen, to really listen to the whisper of your anxiety, you'll find it's your soul speaking to you, your deepest self, asking you, begging you to wake up, to live with more truth. Don't settle. Be yourself, unapologetically, even if you don't quite fit in, even if the ground shakes beneath your feet sometimes. And in that trembling, in that risk, in that decision to be you, that's where your freedom begins, your true freedom. Anxiety, Kierkegaard said, is the dizziness of freedom. And if you feel that dizziness today, that spinning, it's because your soul, your spirit, is ready to fly, ready to soar. You just have to decide to take that first step.